Welcome to the More Than Ball Show. It is season 2, episode 11, and I am Ola.
I'm Paige.
Hey, it's Shakila.
Hey, it's Evian.
Yes, and we are going to be talking about all things NCAA, women's specifically. But yeah, before we get into that, how is everyone doing? Obviously, I've been away, so I haven't spoken to you guys in a bit. So
How was your trip?
Oh yeah, Mexico. Mexico is fantastic. Like paradise. Definitely paradise. I'll give it that. But yeah, how are you guys? How have things been?
Yeah, it's been going. Just watching college basketball. It's looking better than what the NBA is looking at. A lot more.
Honestly, it's given. I guess it's like so. How Sevian doesn't like key into the NBA until playoffs. Like that has been given. Been given playoffs, hasn't it? It is the level of excitement you need, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to build myself up to managing these live games, but my sleep, my gosh, it's still a struggle. But I'm building myself back up. It's not like how it was in my college days. So yeah, getting there.
Yeah, that's one good thing about me. Like with my injury, I'm able to stay up and watch all the games, and I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys because I'm in Greece still. And what was the USC game versus UConn game? I think it started at like 4:30, and I was like, well, I don't have anything on tomorrow. I'm just gonna watch it. So yeah, that is the one plus side about my injury.
Yeah, no,
I kind of prefer a 4:30 start than like a 1-2 o'clock in the morning game, because 4:30 is just like, okay, I can go to bed really early. I'll go to bed at like 9, wake up for the game, but
maybe you have maybe not live, but you could still watch it at 4:30 and not look at your phone to see what the update was.
True.
It's hard.
Yeah, you got to silence
it's hard
all the
to avoid the spoilers. Yeah.
Especially with our group chat, we pop in.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that I'm like, there was how many viewers for this
12
LSU
million.
12 million game viewers.
It's great to know that's the baseline.
Yeah.
Massive.
Imagine if it was more than double. Oh my goodness.
I mean, yeah, it could have been, because like, yeah, the majority of people, like, would you say the majority of people are probably watching it with someone, or maybe at least half the people are watching it with someone? So yeah, like that's definitely at least.
I actually had my phone propped up on my TV for my friend to watch because her internet wasn't working, but the FaceTime was working. So that was another viewer right there.
Yeah, it's true.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You can feel the energy around this game, though. You can feel the energy,
honestly,
and anticipation and excitement to see this matchup. So that was really great.
Yeah, definitely. I think even just like when you think about the tweets that were coming out on the day, like the celebrity engagement, like Dwayne Wade tweeted something. There was just so many people that were getting involved saying that this is the match. I think there was also someone that I can't remember who it was that sat out the game. Was it AD? Was it AD?
Not sure.
Oh, there was someone. I think Eamon might have tweeted about it actually, but there was someone that oh no, it wasn't. It was who's that guy that can't dunk? Celtics player. Yeah, thank you.
Who was it?
Jaylen Brown. Yeah, Jaylen Brown sat out the game, and she tweeted this because he's watching the NCAA game, and I was like, it's actually probably quite true. Like he doesn't need to be playing.
Wow.
But he didn't tweet that. Obviously, Eamon tweeted that. But it's possible. Like I feel like the celebrity hits around this really. I don't think they necessarily did anything more for the game. I think the girls have done enough for the game themselves, but it was just nice to see so many people talking about the fact that they were excited to watch that game.
Yeah, it's true. The game itself. So what did everyone think? Like, was everyone expecting Iowa to win? I mean, I was.
I need to start with a disclaimer that I only made it through to the first 3 quarters, and then my eyes.
That's not bad.
I can't count. I was doing so well. I didn't prep properly. I didn't get my nap in.
I think by the 3rd quarter, the game was kind of like in Iowa's hands. Yeah.
No, but I was excited as well, though. It was a really great game.
Yeah. The beginning of the game was insane to me. Like to watch like these young college athletes, I'm just like, I don't know if we was anywhere near that level of what they're doing now. Like you've got women dunking in games. I'm just like, wow, like it's incredible to see, and it's amazing to see like other like higher basketball players in the NBA talking about it, like because it's not normal like what's happening.
Yeah. The talent was definitely, and you're right, that first quarter, because I think so much happened in that first quarter, right? So I think LSU were like, I think they called a timeout by probably about 0.15 because LSU were like down by 9 or 10 at some point.
Yeah.
And that's when, and that at that point, like I think we were even in the group chat, like, oh, this isn't looking very favorable.
Yeah, but how do
and
you
then
let Caitlin Clark first shot of the game just
that
drain
was
a
what, but I
queen?
think,
But they
wasn't
had
it?
Haley on her, which I feel like they put Flage on her too late. Like by the
Fourth
end of the
quarter,
game,
crazy.
but every single time she was on her, Caitlin put up some BS. Do you know what I mean? But it was the only reason why I would say they put Haley on her is because I feel like Flage would be in foul trouble too early if she was
That,
Caitlin.
yes.
And
Yeah,
so
but
Maybe
also
to
the
tire her
defensive
out.
strategy as well. You can't be going under the screens. You got to be going over with
I
Caitlin.
think she was trying, but I mean, you got a shooter, you're not gonna go under. So I definitely believe like I feel like it was drilled in for her to go over, but I just don't think she could actually get over.
I just think like as someone that has played or does play now, like you always know what you're supposed to do, like the game plan. But like Caitlin is a different breed. I think for me to watch it and be like, oh, why is she going under the screen? Like I don't understand it because I'm not in the game. Like you even had Angel switch out onto Caitlin one time. No difference. Longer wingspan, still made the shot. Fade away to the left, still made the shot.
I do think
whoever was on her, it was like.
But you know what I think one of the things that like for me when I was watching Caitlin Clark play, like obviously I mean she's very smart, as well as the fact that she can pull up from anywhere. Any form of hesitation creates the space for her shot. Like she's not jacking it up. She's already realized that you are probably you're a length away from her, that she can see the basket. So even in that situation where they switched to Angel Reese, it was a late switch. So even with hand in the face, yes, but it was hand in the face with like a lagging leg. Like she didn't really jump in that situation because that switch happened way too late for her to get there. But yeah, hand in the face because obviously she's taller. But I think that the only way I can imagine Caitlin's ability to get these shots is that she's seen that bucket, she's seen that basket way too early. Like people are not in her face early enough that she's already planned the shot before she's pulled up. And actually you taking a step back is just an additional advantage. Do you get what I mean?
I think LSU are like athletic enough to get there though. That's kind of like a bit what happened, but it's just like Iowa can't compete with LSU when it comes down to who's more athletic.
Yeah, that was evident.
Yeah, that's
and that was evident in the first quarter when they came back.
And what Iowa did what Iowa did nicely was like push the ball early so they can't even get set. Do you know what I mean? That's how they got the lead so early and was able to keep playing like that. Like I was telling Shaq, it was like Mark's layup drill that he had us doing to get 34.
Honestly.
They did a really good job of scout and they knew where their weaknesses was and what they had to do to win the game. I'll give it to them, but I do feel like LSU did put on a really good show. I think I felt it for her, like how we figuring her throughout the whole year and stuff. I really felt it for her and she's holding it really good, but I think nice.
Yeah,
she had an incredible game though. She did really well. It's a shame that she had that tweak to her ankle as well. I think that definitely compromised their ability to really push it 100%.
It did. I think she went 1 from 12 after she rolled it. Like immediately after she kind of went a bit downhill. I think she should have maybe taken a bit more time because she seemed like she went back in the game really fast.
Yeah, I would have probably kept her out until the second half.
Yeah.
I also think that her I think her team took a hit as well because I think Paige, you were like, these guys can't shoot for shit, and it was like that really changed in the third quarter. But I think like before that, like
they were shooting.
They were shooting, like as in they were trading threes at some point.
But their bread and butter is always going to be get Angel the ball inside and she'll get it out to you because all Iowa's going to do is double and someone's going to be open.
In some situations.
Or they got to drive and get to the foul line. Be aggressive because that is LSU. From when playing Shaq, when you were playing LSU, do you remember how like quick they were? Like when you were in college, like that was probably a top SEC school that was super, super athletic, but I don't remember them being great shooters. Ever since Kim Spinnett has changed, but now it's like a team that still hasn't got like the best shooters. They haven't got a Caitlin Clark. Do you know what I mean?
No, but they did have a Hailey Van Lith, and I don't think that she performed.
She didn't. I mean, apparently she was on an IV drip before the game, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I thought, well, I don't know if it was before the game, but I think like days before she was on an IV drip. Like she's not been well apparently in the run.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and also the other girl had a concussion in the SEC tournament, but also she had to guard Caitlin the whole game. I would not be.
Did you see her reactions?
Yes. I felt so bad when that became a meme. It was like, well, it's Caitlin.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that is a shame.
But you know what? She said something that is so true. She's like, look, she's gonna make tough shots, but it can't take me out from what I got to do. Like I'm still make it as hard as I can for her. Like, I expect that. Like she's gonna make some of them, and that's just a part of the game.
Yeah, and I guess like Angel said that as well in the press conference, that actually like they already knew that you're gonna have a tough time stopping Caitlin, so you can't, the same way, and I think the commentators were saying it as well, like the same way Caitlin's gonna make a free, Angel's gonna block you. You can't put your head down. You got to keep playing the game. And it was nice to see, like, as in, like, you at no point in time did I not feel like players on that team wanted it. It just felt like a series of unfortunate events. One being that she was the person guarding Caitlin, to Angel's injury and what that did to the whole team. I feel like everyone stopped putting up good shots after that, and I also feel like it stopped their momentum of getting the ball into
they got
Angel.
a bit stagnant.
They started taking really unnecessary shots, and then actually the only person that was really making them was Flage, because she couldn't really shot. And so like that and I also I guess one criticism I have is that they didn't let her go off early enough. Like she wasn't driving to that basket early enough. She was taking shots, but she wasn't out there.
She wasn't, but Angel was popping off. And then, you know, when they had that comeback, I think it was like 10 points straight with no answer. I think that really helped with Angel going off there. So I as much as she would have benefited from being able to go off early, I think they just were giving the ball to the hot hand.
Yeah. It's fair.
I think how like LSU play is more like inside dominant, but like with Iowa, I feel like shout out to the rest of the team, because Caitlin's IQ is way up here. So she's found 1 second where she's open, she's gonna shoot it. But then if she gets you up on your feet, she's going past you and dishing out to the person that's open. And they play so well together. Like they all know where she is on the court. I think that I love to watch like when Caitlin passes it off, she can't get a shot, and within 0.5 seconds they've given it back to her. Like she's cut, they've dished it back to her, and she's made a layup. I just think they're so in sync with each other, and I feel like honestly they deserve to win that game. They played hard.
100%.
I think that's good, to be honest, as well. Caitlin's passing and the fact that she got a double-double in that game.
Yeah, that was literally what I was about to say. That like I think so much has been so much emphasis or like focus has been put on her shooting, but just like you said, like Paige, she didn't let them set up, and actually, as well as the fact that she was forcing those runs with those passes, the team were able to get there. They had definitely practiced that beforehand. But I feel like at least 2 of those crazy dishes, like from like let's say midpoint of the court, like those passes were into the middle. Like they weren't even at an angle. They were passes straight into the middle, and just someone took 2 steps. And I was just like, where is the defense? Like these guys are either still running back or they haven't turned around. Like how has that happened? And that happened like a number of times. Like those assists, her assists were granted like that, but they were amazing assists. They weren't like just sloppy ones. They were great vision passes. So yeah, she's one heck of a player.
It was good to see that the whole team was dialed in. Both teams, in fact, were very dialed in and invested. They knew that everyone was watching, so you kind of show like you're locked in, and it was great. It was a great for everyone to experience like what women's sports is on the rise of doing. So
it was targeted box office, and that's exactly what we got. We got the star players performing, and that's what you can ask for.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it as well was that like I think we've always said this, but like the NBA, the reason the NBA is becoming more and more boring is because defense isn't on show. And actually, like that is one of the things that women's basketball brings. Like people play hard on both ends, and it was just really good to see that. Apart from those situations where they let her cut through the middle, but you can't. Obviously, it's a very good pass, but it was really nice to see that. But Paige, like you started talking about like Angel's like reaction afterwards. I think we should talk about that. I guess some context as well is that even before she was crying in the press conference, and Flage was like, but even before that, she had talked about like some of the heat she had been getting, and so on. And I don't feel like until after that game, we had ever really seen how it had affected her.
Very true.
Everything about it before was just that she's getting heat. And I think we all probably just thought that, oh, I wish I could deal with situations as well as she does. A little bit like Asia talks about in her book, right? She talks about it as though we all just look at it like it's happening and it's supposed to happen. It's only when she was then breaking down afterwards that I think people were really like, rah, like it's very true, actually. Like they went from being the winners, and actually rather than being heralded for being the winners, they've been the villains since they won. And she's been the person with the biggest horns that the media have just focused on. And actually at a time when she should be the happiest, and is like, what, 20, 21 years old? Like she's basically the biggest villain in the US, like when you've got Donald Trump as well. And it's like, what is the media doing? And really when she was saying it, like, and obviously when she was crying, like I felt, I don't think I'd really deeped it until like that was happening. And I was like, wow, like, yeah, she's been incredibly villainized. Yeah. What were your guys' thoughts on it?
I just felt like it's a conversation that needs to be had, because even like there was an article that put out like LSU are basically the ghetto girls, and you know what I mean, like that whole situation was not good. It was extremely racist, and it's like everything being put on Angel. Like this girl she's just a ball player, she's just a hooper, do you know what I mean? Take away female, male, she's just a hooper. Like she's just doing what you want to see anyone do in that respected like field. So it's like, for you to penalize her for that is just disgusting, and it's just because of the color of her skin. Because had it been Caitlyn, it's fine. And Caitlyn be saying slick stuff too, like don't get it twisted, she be talking the most shit on court, and it's like you can't do one and not the other, do you know what I mean? I think what's harsh is that like Angel receives all this backlash, but there are people like us and other people that do love her and be like, yeah, she's dope or whatever, but we don't ever hear that side. We'll always just hear the villain side, and I think it's just jarring. And you know, like I don't really know what to say on that, what to do moving forward, but there definitely needs to be a conversation, and I just hope everyone's checking in on her mental health. We're in such a like sensitive era, so it's like, oh, Angel, we got you, girl.
Yeah, and I think it was really nice to see like what Flage had to say to her about it, and like about her as well. But even like when I was going through it, I was reading it, I was like, just like you said, in my head, I was like, oh, like this should create a change, right? People can see that she is human. Even the comments, like people were like, oh, like some of the comments were like, Caitlyn's got people crying in the press room. Other comments were like she's been talking smack all year and now she's crying, and it's like, rah, like you guys haven't heard anything that was said, like and I guess that's always the case, right? People watch one NCAA game and think that they can talk about the whole of the tournament, but yeah, I guess it was hard to see that even after that wasn't necessarily the thing that needed to happen. It feels like something else needs to happen, and I would actually say that that's the responsibility of the NCAA. If you can profit from this at this point, you need to address it. Because you had the likes of the White House involved in the scandal last year, where Joe Biden's wife was inviting the wrong team. I think it's time you need to, like it's time you need to say something about it, in my opinion.
Similar to what you said, Ola, with regards to Asia Wilson, Angel's post-game speech was definitely had those tones similar to what Asia mentioned after winning a championship, and just realizing that the weight was there and it was kind of unresolved, and hearing what Angel had to say, talking about the weight, and also what she said about inspiring young Black girls who look up to her, and she handled herself in an incredible way. And it's just important for us to remember, yeah, she is human. This is entertainment. People's hopes and dreams are out there, but remember, she's a human, and treat her with kindness as well, and have respect in the way we conduct ourselves in actual commentary and the media's portrayal, and like Paige mentioned with that article, it's very, very racist undertones in how they delivered that message. So well done to Angel Reese for how she handled herself, and good luck for her for the future. I'm looking forward to seeing her in the W.
And it was the New York Times, you know, like as in it wasn't like some dega.
It was at LA.
Oh, LA Times, yeah. It was like, it wasn't a dega newspaper. It was a big boy newspaper.
Like Hackney Gazette.
Yeah, like like they did like Haringey Peace or Back in the Dagenham Post.
Do you get it?
It was a real newspaper
Yeah.
that did that, and they didn't even put out a retraction. They just took away some of the wording. I can't remember what it was. It was something about it, but like it was a double on like I can't remember what it was. Double D was the phrase. Something debutantes.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was what Kim
I had
said
to
that
look
she
it up.
Googled. Yeah. She had to Google it to figure out what it meant, and then she clocked how racist it was, even though she used the word sexist, but racist.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't believe that was okay to be published. Like the amount of restrictions we have in today, like the fact that that can be published and it was okay, and it's probably been approved by X amount of people, and they thought it was okay to put that out there. It just kind of shows that there has been societal changes, but not really for a Black person. Like simple as like things are still gonna, it shouldn't stay the same, but at the moment, like people are doing their best to show like what they think of us. So
yeah, and I think the other thing that I really thought, and like yes, we'll talk about the other game, but I guess the last thing I would say is that the other thing I thought was that with all the people that have something to say about her, like it's very different to be in the public eye as the villain than it is to be in the public eye as, I guess, the hero, who Caitlin Clark is being portrayed to be. Like, and it's a very different, and I guess that's why people want to put them against each other, right? Because Angel Reese did say, she was like I don't hate her, like we're cool. And I think someone said, like, you would never ask Steph Curry and LeBron James if they hated each other. You would just know that the game is the game and respect the game. But because like there's an undertone of a lack of respect for Angel, it sort of is as though everything has to be personal. Therefore, she has to be the villain. And
but she even said like once you start playing, once you're like on the court, there's no friends in this game. And if you look at Kobe was saying like when he went up against like the Spanish team and he was playing for Team
USA. He pushed his team. Like.
Yeah. He pushed him right in the chest. Man went lying on the floor. Didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It was like, this is, and that was his way of saying like, these aren't my boys. I'm still play hard. And that was to get his teammates like ready to play. Like he ain't playing. He just fucked up his duo. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like no one had nothing to say about that. So it's like, you're gonna do this to a 20, 21-year-old girl. It's insane.
And it's like she's going out of her way. Like, I don't know, after the game they like hugged and like you could tell. For me, I felt like it was like she was doing it because she's tired of like all the accusations of they don't like each other and all of this. And if she didn't do it, then it'd be like, oh look, Angel Reese didn't say anything to her. And it's like now it's like being like kind of disregarded, but I feel like it needs to be talked about more because
exactly
you know, if she's thinking about it, she's like, okay, what can I do to make the media like not look at me in a bad light?
Yeah, she's honestly Meghan Markle of the royal family right now. And I actually don't think there's another way you could showcase it, because the thing that I just thought as you said that is that like she wasn't even on in the, like she got waved off in it in the last like when she got fouled out. And like fair enough, she's done it to other people, not talking about that comment before specifically, but she couldn't even walk off the court. Yeah, she couldn't even walk off. Like if that was LeBron James, he would have been off, he would have gone. He wouldn't be there in the last 1 minute of that game, or maybe 30 seconds when they know there's nothing left. There was no choice. She had to stay there, had to hug her, and had to probably hold her for a little bit longer and make it look like they were talking. They were, just for the sake of the cameras. And it's like, that's too much. That's too much to put on a 20-year-old.
Yeah, it's the same thing like you just said about when this happened. It was a big uproar as soon as Angel did it, but I mean the first person that did it. But yeah, like you said, she waved to someone when they got fouled out, but that's between her and the player. That is on the court. What happens on the court, I'm sure they was probably going at it, but the fact that the fans were waving, honestly, for me, I was like, man, my heart kind of sank a bit for her. I was like, that's like, I get that. I remember back in the day they would be like left, right when you're walking off the court, but like I don't know, I think just for her with everything that's going on, I feel like people need to be a bit more like kinder to her,
a bit more sensitive and
but I guess the reality is that she's playing in a country that don't care about race relations, so why would anyone put extra weight on being sensitive. But conversation for another day. Let's talk about the second game. So UConn, I didn't watch it. I was honestly so in my feelings. I went to there. So yeah, over to you guys.
Okay, well, first of all, wrapping up on LSU and Iowa, they're both, all of them are all great athletes. Caitlin's great, Angel's great. They're all great athletes. We're not saying someone's a villain, someone's not. We think they're great athletes. So that's it. Now UConn and USC. I low-key wanted USC to win. That was an intense game, but so Sevian was asleep. Shaquille was probably up at 6 a.m. Ola was falling asleep, and my eyes were doing like some mad I needed something to stay awake. But so I was watching it, but I wasn't really watching it. So I guess like Juju for me is my MVP of the year. I think she is great. I think I just think she's great. Like this is a freshman.
Yeah, as a freshman. Yeah,
18-year-old. She's 18.
Leading the team.
She's not even old enough to get alcohol in America.
A word.
Like that is insane. I think I'm excited for next season after that, like what she's gonna bring, especially what she's done in her first year. And a lot of NBA players, like picked up on it. A lot of WNBA players also. It's like this is a true prospect, and it's probably something we haven't seen in a long time. Or they had coverage on it in a long time, like so young, so quick. I guess the last one was like Paige Beckers. Like that girl was like everyone knew about her. So it was it's great to see like there's another one to watch out, so that's good.
Have you guys seen the advert with her and Joel Embiid?
Yes.
I saw it like that was like one of the adverts that were running in the middle of the game.
Yeah, well, that's when I saw it.
I was like, nah, like as a freshman, like you're here, do you know what I mean? Like as in the Juju, like as in it's a known thing. That is amazing. Like she's made a name for herself already.
Did you watch?
Yeah, she's great to watch. I just don't understand how she does it as a freshman. Over my 4 years in college, she scored more points than me already in her 1 year. I'm just like, how are you doing this? But yeah, she's just so smooth, and
smooth as
I feel privileged to watch her. I'm like, what? I want to know her.
She's
18.
Also.
Yeah, very.
I'm excited to see that character in the WNBA. As in like I want to see what she looks like in it, but also in 2K, like because you're right, like the word is smooth, do you know what I mean? And I actually think like I feel like 2K is great, and the the women's WNBA and 2K is great, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit glitchy. And so I'm really excited to see what she looks like in that, because I feel like her and Caitlin are probably going to do their own simulation. So I want to see what that actually looks like when they're doing it.
True. Yeah, but shout out to UConn because they've really been battling with injuries, and they came out with, I think Gino really like rotates about 6 players, maybe 7. I think he rotated like 7 this game. Usually it's 6. But the fact that they had their game plan and they stuck to it and they won the game, it just shows how much of a team they are. But Paige Beckers, I've never really like paid attention to her. Like I knew she was like talked about a lot, but this game I was like, okay, now I understand what all the hype is about. Like she's an overall player, like she does it all. Like I don't know how tall she is, but she's getting blocks on post players and giving assists, and her IQ of like when to shoot and when to pass is amazing. So she's a great player.
Skill set. She's got a great skill set.
Yeah, I think with the rotation thing, I saw that. I feel like 3 of their players played 40 minutes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And then I think the rest, the next 4 players played 30 minutes. And it was like, wow, that's
a lot.
And I mean, it also speaks to the level. It speaks to the fact that that's a team, because usually those rotations, you maybe get 1 player that plays 40. You wouldn't get 3. Like that's a big deal to get 3 players playing 40 minutes.
And it was such a high scoring game, so they still they was going up and down. there was a point where like Paige and Juju was just going basket to basket with each other, and it was like great to see the matchup because they've played together for Team USA, but to see them like going against each other, just that whole day of basketball was just incredible, really.
I think that whole early morning, yeah. Paige and I were thinking the same thing.
that evening morning was amazing for them, but like the day before, with South Carolina and NC State making the Final Four, I just think this is going to be one of the best Final Fours yet.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm quite interested to see like what South Carolina do if they're going to stay undefeated the entire. That will be insane.
I'm a bit nervous for them.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Like I feel like
if LSU won, I would expect South Carolina to come up on top.
Yeah. I think that like they, as in South Carolina, the most overall team, like they have somebody in every position doing a bit of something. Whereas like I think the other teams, they have a star player or two star players. Like NC State, they have Sanaa, I'm not sure if, I don't remember her last name, and her teammate who are incredible in the backcourt together. And then UConn have Paige, and then Iowa obviously have Caitlin. But I feel like South Carolina,
they got great.
Yeah, and then you've got like they sometimes sub like 4-3 players at a time. Then you've got the starters coming out of the game, and then you've got the bench doing just as good, if not better, than the starters. So I feel like that's what will put them over the edge of any other team. So games start tomorrow. So
I mean, everyone wants it, but they want it.
Yeah,
You want to be able to say that you got to the end undefeated. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially after like what they did with the SEC final. They was like saying that they never want to be in that position again. Of they gave up. You could see it on their faces. Like 3 seconds left, you're down 2. You could see that they was like, the game is done. We've lost the game. Like I can only imagine that feeling. And then to win it, they was like, yeah, we don't want to be put in that position again.
They just gave me goosebumps, like thinking about it again.
Yeah,
100%.
They're all just like great role players. I think. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think the further they get, they're like, no, we have to win. We have to win, because it's just like it's getting too close for it to like just slip for them.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like Iowa are going to be feeling exactly the same way, because
exactly.
She's declared. So they're also like, this could be our last time. This is the last opportunity. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of finals, there's a final tonight. Eurocup. London Lions are playing Besiktas. They're actually in Turkey, which is a country over for me. I should have went to watch. But yeah, that's going to be an incredible game.
Yeah,
for British
fans are loud, isn't it?
That's the first leg.
Yeah,
the first leg. Yeah,
next week over here. So the final will actually be in London, which probably never see again. But it's insane. Yeah, it's like London Lions are coming like South Carolina.
Yeah, because they're undefeated in Eurocup, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So hopefully they continue their streak. Published, like we'll know who has won. But yeah, it's definitely looking like a game like of the year at the moment. I'm sure everyone's going to be tuned in, because this is going to be the best test yet, you know, to see how good London Lions actually are. I mean, we know how good, but this is going to be their hardest competitions to date.
100%, especially with those fans as well.
Yeah,
because I feel like them guys they're gonna take over the Copper Box.
Yeah,
it's like that Hungary game. Where they just got their own section.
I feel like that's the thing about London. It's great because it's so diverse and you have so many different people. But then there's a downside when you're playing like different countries, because there's every kind of culture in London, so they can all come to the game. So it's going to be like you're kind of playing an away game. But hopefully the English fans step up a bit, because we're not really rowdy. I feel like we're rowdy at football games, but at basketball we're because a bit more reserved.
Drums, Paige. It's because of the drums. The lack thereof of the drums.
Do you know what it is? I think we need to teach the London fans how to actually be a basketball fan, because I think it's quite deserved and not understanding. Like if Savannah Wilkinson's mum, she's shouting.
Good.
But everyone looking at her like she a mad woman. I mean, like
she's crazy.
insane, but she's insane for the right reasons. Do you know what I mean?
I've got to go to a game here and record and show you how different it is. The fans here.
Yeah.
So they have police, but the police aren't doing anything. The police are just there to, like, if a fight breaks out.
Yeah.
The fans literally shout at the refs. Yeah. They shout at the coach. They throw stuff down from the stadium not onto the court, but like the sidelines. I'm like, what is happening here?
Guys, when we qualified for Europe the first year, my mum came. We were playing in Crystal Palace, and my mum came with drums and everything.
Good.
Chantal Charles was like, I know there's only one
happening.
That has to be Paige's mum, because our parents
they're not doing that.
She think we're in Spain. So when I started playing basketball, I was in Spain, and that's what they used to do. So every single game she come with like drums and stuff. That's all she knows. It's quite interesting. So we've got to teach the London fans here how to
get me a drum, Paige. I've said it. Get me a drum. Let me go to
take
work.
The drum that they have there. Just
grab it.
But I'm saying that I think like compared to the Greek fans, the Turkish fans might be a bit more reserved than I think, because I actually went to a Fenerbahce game, the men's. I went to watch the men's play in Turkey, and they was kind of like English fans. Everyone was just sitting in their seats and a bit civilized. So it'll be interesting to see tonight how the fans act.
And anyway, when they come to London, anyway, we'll just tell Kat to put up a Facebook group message.
For all her people.
She'll come with 500. Where's she from?
Belarus.
500 Belarus fans will come through and support the London Lions. So
job done.
Yeah, but even that, congrats to the guys to making it. What is it? They played Paris and they lost. But congrats to them for getting so far.
Yeah.
They did great also.
Furthest they've ever gotten as well.
Yeah. So that's definitely something to build off for next year. So
history being made all over the globe.
They've basically done it without their star player. So we talk about how like Caitlin Clark is a star player. They did it without Sam Decker for the majority of the season. So it's like that is even though as much as he wants to be there, like he's injured, he can only do so much. So for him to be like very in and out and them to still like carry on and excel how they did, like that's still sick.
Cool. All right, guys. Let us know your thoughts on the game, how it's been covered, and also make sure that you're following us on socials and lock it in to the women's game, the London Lions women's game, because it is on the 10th. So this means this is your announcement to know. Go and get your tickets and make sure you're there, because we need to be louder than the Turkish fans.
Yeah, London Copper Box, be there.
Go. Yeah. Cool. Signing out.
I'm out.